students is so successful. Needless to say, I am so proud of you. I just retired from teaching this past June after 48 years, and just by coincidence, I was cleaning out my file cabinet recently and I found a booklet of stories written by your class. I thought 2 of the stories you wrote were especially appropriate on this occasion. There are several others in this envelope which you can enjoy reading, and we'll give you that for the gold key, reading at your leisure. Most sincerely, Joan Johnston, otherwise known, if I'm pronouncing it correct back in the day, Miss Jagelowitz, your second grade teacher. We're going to read one of the stories and get you up here in a minute. This is written by you on the 21st of April in 1967. I have blonde hair and I have blue eyes. I'm very, very tall. I have long legs. I'm 7.5 years old. I think that I'm a good astronomer. I think that I have a good prospector because I have a lot of rocks. I think that I'm a good worker because I like to work. That certainly has proven true over the years, and your hard work has paid off. To present our final Gold Key honoree tonight, Bob Burge, longtime sports writer and member of the Alliance.
You know, despite what some young basketball fans might think, Mike Krzyzewski did not start the basketball program at Duke, and I think our final Gold Key recipient is kind of proof of that. He first made a name for himself at Massac High School, where he led the state in scoring for 2 consecutive years, averaging 30 points as a junior and 40.7 as a senior. After graduating from Massac a year earlier, he traveled to the heart of ACC country to play for the Blue Devils. Before that, guy Krzyzewski actually showed up. While his records have been surpassed, when he graduated from Duke in 1980, he actually was the Blue Devils' all-time leading scorer with 2,323 points. He was number 1 in rebounds with 1,242 and block shots with 345. He was Duke's leading scorer as a junior and senior and helped lead the Blue Devils to the national championship game in 1978 against Kentucky. Duke lost, but we don't have to mention that. He was voted one of the 50 greatest players in ACC history, and his uniform number 43 was retired by Duke in 2002. In 1979, he was named the ACC Player of the Year and a UPI First Team All-American. Now, unlike some Duke players, I have to mention that because I am a North Carolina fan, but he also went on to enjoy a successful NBA career. First-round draft pick of the New Jersey Nets in 1980. He played 14 seasons in the NBA with New Jersey, Philadelphia, Charlotte, and Milwaukee, averaging 13.7 points and 6.9 rebounds in more than 900 games before retiring in 1994. He's currently residing in Charlotte, North Carolina, and perhaps you can hear him. He's a college basketball broadcaster. Please welcome Mike Chmielewski.
Is there a grade on that thing? Thank you for the introduction, by the way. I was actually hoping that Matt would introduce me. I was curious to where the microphone would hit me when I came up here. First of all, Dara, shout out to you, go girl. Okay, there are a lot of people here from Massac, and as an alum, we are very proud of you. Go on, have a great day. George, it's getting dark, and thank you for the call to let me know that I was being honored in this way. But for all of you, it's getting dark out there, and George has promised he'll lead you to his car with a light emanating from his jacket. He replaced the batteries before the event. John, terrific job. This has been a long program. I've admired what you tried to do here tonight. Gary, You scored twice as many points as I did. My teammates used to call me the black hole. What would have passed in there never came back out. I can't imagine what your guys called you. I want to hear some nicknames from later on. I love going last. You know, to me, it's like being Liz Taylor's last husband on their wedding night. I know what to do, I just want to make it memorable. I'll tell you, so I go shopping a lot. Harris Teeter is the grocery store down in North Carolina. It's about 4 or 5 years ago. And I'm walking around, doing my shopping, going down the aisles, and I see these 2 young boys kind of trailing me. And, you know, they're clearly brothers. One's a little bit older than the other one. They're kind of stalking me. And, you know, the younger brother's pushing the older brother. And, you know, it's clear they want to come up and ask for an autograph. So I get into the checkout line. And finally they get the nerve up. And the younger one pushes the older one ahead. And he looks up at me and he says, excuse me, do you play basketball? And I said, no, but I used to. He looked up at me and he said, well, who did you used to be? And I said, you know, it was funny. I mean, I laughed at it, but and now I use it as when I go out and speak because, you know, in many ways, in every way, basketball is what I did, but it's not who I am, and it didn't define me. And that all started right back here. Monroe, Connecticut, Massac High School. I had amazing experiences in that town. It was I don't know if I grew up in any place else other than that time and place, I'd be standing here before you. And I had so many great things come of that. I'll mention my family first. My grandparents lived with us. It was a 2-family house. And for those with history, they know we weren't exactly the Cleavers. But I did learn a lot of things. I learned about the value of hard work. I learned how to treat people. And most importantly, they gave me the confidence to make my decisions and all the big decisions in my life. They may not have always agreed with them, but they trusted me in my instincts. And I owe a lot to my family, and they really gave me a great foundation. And then there were the other people in my life. There was Massac High School, there was Chalk Hill, there were great works of poetry that I was creating when I was in 2nd grade. But, you know, as an only child, I really, you can go one of 2 ways. You can kind of be a little introverted, or you can really seek other people out. And I was very extroverted. I wanted to be around people. And I had an amazing support group at Massac. I had amazing coaches, starting in Little League and going up through high school. And, you know, I'm just so blessed for that because, as you know, as has been mentioned here before, coach is such an important part of your life. And there are 4 of them here present tonight, and Mike Savo, John Giampaolo, Bob Baroni, my head coach, and Dave Strong, who was my coach on the junior varsity on that game. By the way, I didn't foul that guy in the 2nd quarter. But I'm honored, Dave, to now share this with you and be a member of this club. It's a very special thing for me. But you all gave me such great leadership. You were such great mentors for me, and really prepared me for what I was about to get into going down to Duke University. And then there were my guys who are here, my classmates, my teammates, all of them very much brothers to me as an only child. And it was very, very important to have you guys as part of my life. A funny story, before I got my license, I was allowed to drive with one guy. Gene Kerr was our point guard, and my parents said, if Gene was driving, you can go wherever you want. And that just showed you the trust that they had in him, and we never missed a curfew, did we?
No.
You know, and it was you know, it was a good deal. And I'll tell you another side to Gene. He's a citizen of Newtown. and he's been through a lot, but he is a beautiful person, and I have no doubt that he's going to help that town heal. And it's been great to have you as part of my life. I've been blessed to be on a lot of great teams. I played on some great teams at Duke. I played on some great teams in the pros. And sometimes your life gives you perspective. And I know that I played on great teams because 40 years later and 30 years later, we're still teammates. And I'll tell you this, that this was my first great team right here. And evidenced by their being here, I've been honored a number of times in the state of Connecticut, and they have always been there for me. And it's been that way my whole life. And as it's been said earlier, you honor individuals, but I really don't believe in individual awards. I really believe that they are, I'm getting recognized, but for me, everybody here is being recognized as well, because you've all been such a big part of my life, and I'm not standing here if you guys aren't a part of it. So I want to thank you for that. Thank you to the sports writers for choosing me to be a part of this incredible award. Congratulations to the other four. I'm really pleased to be a member of our class, and that'll never change. And I love coming back home. Love you. Thank you all.
Congratulations again to all the honorees, and thank you, of course, for your